Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you got a divorce outside of Romania? You might think that's the end of it, but legally, you could be in for a surprise. It sounds complicated, I know, but don't worry. In the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through it step by step and make it super clear. Let's dive right in. So just imagine this for a second. You've gone through a divorce in, say, the US or Canada. You've totally moved on with your life, and you just assume everything's buttoned up and settled. But here's the million-dollar question. As far as Romania is concerned, are you still legally married? The answer for a lot of people is yes, and that's exactly why we need to talk about this. So why is this such a big deal? Well, here's the thing. Without that official recognition from Romania, your foreign divorce decree is basically just a piece of paper. It means you can't legally get remarried in Romania. Any property splits you agreed to abroad, they might not hold up. And this is a huge one. Child custody and support orders could be completely unrecognized. Your official status is just stuck on married, which creates this massive gap between your real life and your legal one. Okay, so to get you from that confusing spot to a place of total clarity, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the problem itself, then look at the two main paths, EU versus non-EU. We'll break down both processes, give you a super practical checklist for your documents, and then cover the final steps to get your marital status updated for good. All right, first up, the unrecognized divorce problem. Let's really get into why that document you have from another country just isn't enough on its own. And this is the absolute key takeaway. That divorce decree you have, it's perfectly valid, but only in the country where it was issued. For Romania to see it as real, you have to go through their official recognition process. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a legal must-do to get your official records in line with your actual life. This brings us to the most important fork in the road. Seriously, your entire process depends on the answer to one simple question. Was your divorce granted inside the European Union or somewhere else? The answer is going to send you down one of two very, very different paths. So let's break it down. If your divorce is from an EU country, you're looking at a pretty straightforward administrative process. It's way simpler and faster. But for any non-EU divorce, you have to go through a formal court proceeding called Exequatur. So you see the difference, right? One is basically paperwork, and the other is a full-on court case. Okay, let's talk about the easier route first, the automatic EU process. If your divorce was finalized somewhere in the EU, you're in a good spot because the regulations are set up to make this whole thing much less of a headache. So, thanks to a special EU regulation, the recognition is automatic. The legal term is plin drept. What does that mean for you? No court, no judges, no drawn-out legal fights. All you really need is a standard EU certificate from the country that issued the divorce. And maybe the best part? You don't need something called an apostille, which, trust me, saves you a ton of time and hassle. But what if your divorce is from outside the EU? From a place like the United States, the UK, Australia, anything like that? Well, then you have to go through the Romanian court system using a process called Exequatur. I know, Exequatur sounds super intimidating, right? But just think of it like a legal quality check. A Romanian court basically takes a look at your form divorce papers to make sure they don't go against any of Romania's own public policies. If it all looks good, the court gives it a judicial stamp of approval. And once you have that, your divorce is officially valid and enforceable in Romania. So this court process follows four pretty clear steps. First, you file a petition. Next, you submit all your certified documents. After that, the court does its review to make sure everything lines up with Romanian law, and finally, the court issues its decision. It's definitely a formal process, but it's a very structured one. Okay, so how long is this going to take? Let's be realistic. A really clean, standard case where all the documents are perfect, you're looking at maybe 3 to 6 months. But if your case is more complex, maybe it involves property or custody, it could be more like 6 to 9 months. And if you have missing or incorrect documents, it can easily drag out for a whole year. This is exactly why getting your paperwork 100% right from the get-go is so important. A small mistake can cause huge delays. Which brings us perfectly to the most hands-on part of this whole thing, your document checklist. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of exactly what you need to gather. Now, before we jump into the list, we have to talk about this word, apostille. If your divorce is from a non-EU country that's part of something called the Hague Convention, you're going to need one of these. What is it? It's basically an international stamp that proves your divorce decree is a real, legit public document. Without it, your non-EU paperwork just won't be accepted. Simple as that. Okay, let's look at the checklist side by side.
You can see the biggest difference right away, can't you? For non-EU divorces, both the divorce decree and the certificate of finality must have an apostille. For EU divorces, you don't need that. You just need that standard EU certificate we talked about. Now, for both paths, you'll need your birth and marriage certificates. And here's a crucial point. All of your documents have to be translated into Romanian by an authorized translator, and then that translation has to be notarized in Romania.
All right, you've done the hard work. You've either gone through the court or the administrative process, and you've got all your documents in a neat pile. We are on the home stretch. Let's talk about the final steps to make everything official. So let's just recap the entire mission in 5 simple steps. Ready? 1. Collect all your documents. 2. Get them authenticated with an apostille if you need one. 3. Translate everything into Romanian. 4. Notarize those translations. And 5. Submit your application. That's it. That's the whole journey, right there.
And where do you actually submit all this? You've got options. If you're in Romania, you just head to the local mayor's office, specifically the Vital Statistics Department. But if you're living abroad, no problem. You can handle the entire submission through your nearest Romanian consulate. So it's accessible no matter where you are in the world.
And when it's all said and done, what's this really all about? It's about getting to the number one. One single, consistent, legal marital status everywhere. The whole point of this is to make your official records in Romania finally match the reality of your life. It's all about getting that legal peace of mind. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. You've already settled your past emotionally and personally. Isn't it time your legal paperwork caught up? Going through these steps isn't just about tedious bureaucracy. It's about officially closing one chapter of your life so that you are completely, 100% free to start the next one. Thanks so much for watching.